How's it going, Dreamers? Welcome to another Friday afternoon. As you can see, we are not here at the field right now. We are elsewhere down in Dubuque, Iowa, right down the road for what is a beautiful afternoon. I'm social media coordinator Tucker LaBelle alongside Director of Operations Roman Weinberg. We are here for a fun, enjoyable episode with you guys today to talk about baseball, life, how things are going for the Field of Dreams, obviously, and just to sit down and have a chat with you guys, as more or less that is exactly what we like to do on our Friday afternoons. The weekend is almost here. Really, it started for us officially. For me, getting to classes today for the week, it has really started. But we are looking forward to a beautiful, beautiful bit of weather here in Iowa. We're getting into the 60s tonight. It's going to be great. But again, we're just happy to be here with you guys. Mal has already tuned in here. Mal from Australia.
Hey, great timing, Mal. It's time.
The Vegemite.
It's time. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Happy Friday.
Good morning, gentlemen, on this fine sunny Saturday morning, as it is a sunny Saturday morning in Australia already. Also, you need to put a sign up telling people doing a handstand on your head on the pitching plate is not baseball. Mal is tuned into the Earth Cam already.
You know, it is hysterical, Mal and Dreamers out there, because Mal continuously will tell us about the interesting things and stories that he sees from the Dreamers that are visiting the field on site while watching the Earth Cam. Shout out Earth Cam. So if you haven't checked out our live stream, our field cam, you should. Website, fieldofdreamsmoviesite.com. Check it out there. It's pretty cool.
It is. Roman, I think we should just go ahead and start with the story here.
You just want to.
So let me segue into the story now that we have Mal here. Frank, it is great to see you in here as well, our friend.
How's it going, Frank?
Roman, he asked how your vacation was.
It was great. Thank you. We went to Madison. So, unfortunate with what's going on there. It was a little sketchy when we were there. But it was great. We jet skied, had some fun outdoors, did some hiking. So it was good.
And then you say, how is my shoulder, Frank? Frank, my shoulder is healing back up. I dislocated it pretty severely in a lacrosse game on last Sunday. So it's healing up. I got about 6 to 8 weeks recovery time before my collegiate spring season. So I'm just going to heal up, rest up, and I get some time to focus on the Field of Dreams and everything else too. But just, happy to be here with you guys.
I got a question for you. Was Doc Graham there to...
Yeah, I did not see Doc Graham. I saw an older gentleman in the stands, but boy, he was not moving for anything. So I
didn't have a suitcase or anything?
Didn't have a suitcase.
At least he wasn't waiting for him?
All he had was a brown bag with a tall boy in it.
Oh, well, there you go.
Don't think that was going to fix anything in the moment there. But to segue into a bit of a story here for you guys. So Mal Green, Mal who's in this right now, Mal is a friend of the Fields from Australia. Mal, had the great pleasure of meeting you last year. Last summer, my father got to meet you as well. And we got to spend some time talking to you. Roman met you, and really to understand what baseball is like in Australia, and what you have done to grow the game there. And I mean, gosh, you even started building a field in the middle of the Australian wildfires.
Your own Field of Dreams.
Yeah, very much so. So really a baseball icon to us when we think about Australia and baseball. But we got into the office the other day. And there was a package from Australia. Mm-hmm. And Mal had hinted at that in several previous episodes that he was sending us some Australian goodies. He did. Yeah, that long ago.
Yeah.
And he was hinting at it a little bit. And so we really didn't know what to expect from Mal in this Australian package.
But we talked about it after the show. We were both excited. We were like,
thinking, what is
this?
Mal sending us? And Mal, guys, if you haven't checked it out, please check out our Instagram and our Facebook. Mal sent us 2 Sydney Australian baseball jerseys.
The Diggers.
The Sydney Diggers. And we apparently, according to Mal, are officially honorary members of the club. So we feel very honored about that.
From our performance, the Father's Day catch.
That's it.
You showed your form, and we got loose. So
we've had some fun, Mal, with that stuff. And we had you sent in some cookies called I believe Tim Tams, and those were a hit. Roman and I dug into those. I then brought a package with me to my college campus. Had some friends dig in. They also liked them.
We dug into those.
We did.
Or did you dig into them?
I
turn around and 75% of the package is gone.
And apparently Tim Tams are a kind of iconic thing in Australia. I actually had some friends who have visited there comment on my post saying that was one of their favorite parts about visiting Australia. So Mal, I'm not sure if they can sum it up in a cookie or not, but man, they were very, very good. I even had a buddy of mine from Scotland try them today, and he was very eager as well.
It's like a spruced up Oreo. It's like a fudge covered like Oreo cookie, kind of with chocolate cream. I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know if that's correct, Mal, but it's like the Australian version. I like to think of it as an Australian Oreo.
I can get behind that. And really the fun thing is, guys, this all blossomed from the Field of Dreams and from baseball. So it's fun to talk about these offshoots that are built around the game and around the community of the Field of Dreams, because it really is, it's such a global community.
Well, and there's a network here. I mean, you can see it throughout the chats in every episode. You guys are talking to each other as much as you're talking to us, which is cool to see. I've noticed that within the past month or two that it's happened, and it's just regularly happening. So guys, continue to network. That's what the Field of Dreams is all about, and that's what sports is all about. So it brings us all together. I think now, though, one of the goodies in the package is Vegemite. Mal, if you would like, I believe we've summed it up in the past as Nectar of the Gods or something to that nature. So we'll see. It's supposed to be a delicacy of sorts in Australia. So
Roman's going to start out here with a spoonful real quick.
No.
You're starting out.
No,
I have a story. So. I have a reason why, but you start out.
Why? Why am I the
guinea pig? Just trust me. So Roman is going to start out with a spoonful of Vegemite here, and he's gonna give his reactions real quick.
Mal, I'm a bit concerned. Looks like toothpaste. So is it toothpaste?
It's not toothpaste.
Okay. Proudly made in Australia since 1923. So guys, dreamers out there, Vegemite, if you're interested in getting some, do so. And I guess if I encourage you not to do so, I'll just kind of bite my tongue here.
Yeah, that's it.
After all right, no.
There's a reason why. There's a story why.
There's a reason why.
No, I promise. You're gonna enjoy the story.
No, I've got a spoon right here.
Give me a little tab. Give me a little tab. But there's a reason why. Okay. Just give it a very thin tab.
I'm a little nervous here.
It's down the hatch for you. Let's see it.
Ready?
Yep. Go ahead, Rowan.
All right, guys. It's going in. Are you really gonna Hold on. Is what I'm about to hear after I eat this something that's going to make me not want to eat it?
No. It is not. It is nothing bad.
Okay, down the hatch. Mal, cheers. Good eye, mate. Oh.
So now, Roman, here's the segue into...
I know what it is.
Here's why I made you go first. I made you go first because what you don't know is that I have a friend who is a basketball player from Sydney, Australia, a good friend of mine who had warned me to never, ever take a spoonful of Vegemite because it is not meant to be consumed that way. And it's a total prank when people tell you to take a spoonful of Vegemite. So, Mal, prank successfully worked. I decided to play along with it.
LOL.
I had known this. So I'll give it a quick taste here, but
it's extremely salty. It's like bouillon, like chicken bouillon or beef
I can get
bouillon.
Behind that. It's quite good.
Well, it's good if you mix it with something, right? I mean, this is edible, correct? I mean, I'm not being punked. It actually is eaten there, Mal. Like mixed into...
Yes, it's meant to be spread across a toast or something like that, or a cracker, from what I understand. I just took a quick little bite of it.
What is it? It's like beefy. Or is it not? I don't even know. Let's see. Enjoy as part of a balanced, varied diet.
It was very good.
Active lifestyle. Find more inspiration at Vegemite.com.
Anyway,
excellent.
Prank successfully went through because I knew that you are only supposed to take a spoonful if you're pranking a mate, as they call it, a friend. And so Mal, success there.
Bob, don't encourage him.
My Australian basketball friend decided to help me play along with this one. So shout out to him as well, from Clark University graduate who's back in Australia now. But I did know about that.
Bob, you're supposed to spread it on bread, toast, or a cracker. You could have told me that before I took a spoon.
I like it.
But hey, I don't blame you. Hopefully my expression was entertainment enough there for you guys. So happy Friday to you, dreamers.
I had a quick bite of that. That's on toast or something, though? Pretty good.
Delicious.
Pretty good. Not going to lie to you.
Spoonful, and you saw pretty generous portion that I had there for myself. I don't advise that.
It's got a very salty
tanginess to it.
I could see how people get used to that.
Yeah,
I
could too.
I could see how people get used to Vegemite. Not bad. Interesting.
Yeah.
You had quite the spoonful, though. I mean, for those of you who did not see, Roman had a pretty full spoonful of Vegemite.
Guys, it's how I approach life. You just dive right in. If you go for it.
Also, not to be forgotten, Mal sent us a package of spoons in order for us to try it on a spoon. So he was very much in key to this prank that very successfully
worked. You were feeding
worked.
into it, Mal. So good job there. Good on you. Yeah.
That's an experience.
Yeah, it was good. Anyway, not as good as the Tim Tams though. Those Tim Tams
are something else.
Delicious. Mal, I think you've just upped my monthly bill because I'm going to be purchasing those online if I can. I'll have to look
fun fact: they sell them here in Dubuque, Iowa.
What?
Yep. A friend of mine who had ventured to Australia let me know that there is one store here in Iowa, in Dubuque, that actually sells.
I don't know if you want to tell me that because
I don't know what store. He didn't tell me yet.
Oh, what?
I had messaged him to ask him where it was. So it is very real, very much existing.
Excellent. Awesome.
Among other things, Australian delicacies, folks.
There you go. All right, MLB news. What have we got?
So the MLB news, guys, for the week,
not much,
is really gone pretty quiet.
Yeah, not much.
I feel like we're in the heart of the season as the COVID season exists, and so things are more or less going smoothly. The tests seem to be going pretty well.
Halfway point as of last weekend.
Yeah, and there's some clear front runners. My Los Angeles Dodgers are doing quite well, as everybody knows. Roman's Cubs are not doing bad at all either, to be honest with you.
But they did tank as soon as 3 weeks ago, sitting right here, I said that they were on a roll and they were the hottest team in baseball. I did. And I said that on the show later that following week, which you were not a part of.
But they did tank. Somewhat, yeah. But there's some clear front runners right now. There are there's teams that are separating themselves away from everything else, and you're gonna start seeing contenders for a World Series type situation. Whether the World Series happens, as the World Series has happened for years and years, we don't know. That is a giant question mark, but that is an interesting question mark that develops.
You know what? It's so interesting to me to see the designated hitter. I love the more I'm getting into it. Like, I didn't know how I would react because it's not used so much through the National League. So for the Cubs, they've never done it. So it was something that I didn't know how I would like, but it's helping keep these pitchers healthy, especially with the amount and of time they're being used. It's just the frequency, right? It has increased drastically.
Different. And you're seeing these guys hit the rotation. I mean, so much quicker.
Yeah.
Their rehab time is little to none.
And they're forced to go deeper into games because the bullpen can't be used as much because they're being used more often because of less travel days and off days. So now but for me to see that, it's actually pretty refreshing, and I'm okay with it. If it becomes a permanent part of the game moving forward, I think I'm all right.
We got an interesting comment from Mao here that Mao, I'd love you to explain a little bit more. I'm curious now. Back in the late 80s, I was invited out on the field in the 7 innings with the Dodgers. Great moment. Mao, I'm curious about that. I'm pretty tied to the Dodgers through familial connections and just where I was born, as in Southern California is Dodgerland. So I'm curious, Mao, as to what you mean by that. And a little bit more of a story there. Roman, your wife says, looks like we're going to be shopping for Tim Tams tonight because they were a delicious afternoon snack.
I think they're gone. So
I think they are too.
Thank you.
Mal, you got them hooked. Mal.
I'm not lying. Seriously.
No, and a very sad bit of MLB news that no one ever wants to see. The passing of a great baseball and Mets legend, Tom Seaver, who was a baseball icon in so many ways. And someone who you see these lives who play impact on the sport of baseball and sport as a whole, and that's really who Tom Seaver was. And I didn't realize how young Tom Seaver was when he got into Major League Baseball with the Mets. But I saw an image of him from his rookie year last year with the Mets, and it was mind blowing to think at how young he was. I mean, to be honest with you, he's probably about the same age as myself right now, if not a little bit younger, to be honest with you. And then I got to see a picture of him playing at USC as well, which was a very, very phenomenal image. But gives you that hindsight to think, man, who are these players now who will make the same impacts of those of Tom Seaver? But
he was 23.
He was 23. So Tom Seaver was 2 years older than me
when he got into the big leagues. So obviously involved sooner than that. But you look at guys like Addison Russell and Francisco Lindor and Javier Baez and several of these players that come into the league at 20 years old and 18 years old. It is unreal, and it's because of guys like Tom Seaver that have
paved the way.
Seriously, very much so. You've finished my sentence. They've paved the way for the new generation of ball players, and it's inspiring. And so, Tom, you'll be missed, but you joined the Corn with some pretty influential voices and names in the world of baseball. So
and we saw a beautiful illustration by an artist of Tom Seaver simply walking into the Corn. And it lets us sit down for a second and think about what that Corn really symbolizes, and that people who come to the field, you think that this hollowed ground, this Iowa cornfield truly has become the symbolic final resting place for so many Major League Baseball and baseball legends. And so that's something, it's very humbling to think that.
And family members.
Very much so. And it means something. It really does.
I mean, a lot of people that are baseball fans will come out, and I know you've heard this several times too, and I've heard this countless times of people that come out and teary-eyed, kind of coming to terms with the passing of someone that they loved by coming to the Field of Dreams. So it's a source of resolution for some. So it's
closure.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. We've talked a lot about it being a spiritual place. Well, that's just another example of it.
Yeah, it very much is. Yeah,
it's it's crazy to see that. So, Tom, you've joined the Corn, my friend. Thank you for the 20 years of memories in Major League Baseball and being such an influential part of your community and for several communities. I mean, you played for the White Sox, the Mets, the Reds. So,
yep, very much so.
Hall of Famer.
One of those legends that you hear about.
One of the greats.
Truly.
Guys, if you have any memories of Tom Seaver that you remember or that stick out in your mind, for those of you that had the pleasure of watching him throughout his career, please share them because we'd love to hear that.
Mal says, back in the late 80s, I was invited out on the field in the 7th inning with the Dodgers. Great moment. Mal, then you read down, I was at a game and got invited to meet the players and walked out during the 7th inning stretch. Mal, what a memory. What year was that, Mal? I'm curious now as to maybe who some of these players were you got to meet, but I mean, what a memory. And clearly, again, part of your baseball legacy that we continue to learn more and more about, which is awesome as well.
Baseball savant.
Frank Roberto, our good friend Frank, yesterday, Newsday here in New York celebrated its 80th anniversary, and they had a picture of Tom Seaver pitching for the Mets on the front page.
That's awesome.
How it looked the day they ran it. Beautiful. That is, I mean, a great tribute in two ways, really.
Yeah, it really is. 87, Mal says.
There you go. Wow. You would have been among some very, very big Dodger greats. Oh, it was great to see a Ghost player a few days ago having a throw. Mal, I saw you post a screenshot of that on Facebook. Was that Frank Dardis?
That was Frank.
It was Frank. That was Frank Dardis. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact for all of you viewing and tuning in here is we have charter bus groups that come out from around the country.
All over.
And they come out and they contact the Chamber of Commerce for a special experience where they actually get to meet one of the Ghost players who come out of the Corn in the 1919 Black Sox uniforms and show them around the field and give them a step-on guided tour of the site. And it's very unique. Definitely encourage it if you go on one of these bus tours. But very cool. And Frank is one of those Ghost players that comes out and meets with them. So he does a great job. He loves it. Changes out behind the house and by the Corn. He parks out there. That's his spot. And it's pretty cool to talk to him. And he's one of those guys that legitimately has a smile on his face
all the time.
Every single day. I don't think I've ever seen him in any other mood other than delighted. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool.
And something along that too, we looked back on the 1996 Ghost tour to Japan. We were looking at an old Ghost player newspaper, essentially, talking about their journey, published by the Dyersville paper. And it's cool to see, these guys, how far and wide they've traveled, and how many lives they've impacted. And so, you wonder why he's got a smile. I think it's got to be related to that, of how much he's really enjoyed life through the ghost player role.
I just can't imagine how enlightening that would be for those guys, and how humbling it is, because they're seeing firsthand. They started doing that for the Field of Dreams and something that was bigger than themselves. And as in doing so, created something that was bigger than themselves, and the legacy of the ghost players. So it's, the Field of Dreams, the movie, really created just several other elements that have taken on a life of their own. The movie site, the ghost players, and now, Dwyer Brown, perfect example, takes all of his, all the accolades that he's received for that film, and all of the lives that he's touched. He doesn't take it for granted. He sees it as a responsibility.
It's amazing to see that.
Yeah. So he still to this day will make appearances. And if you follow the Field of Dreams, you've seen that we share some of his appearances and try to throughout the year. Obviously, this year was affected for him, but Dwyer, if you're watching, we are thinking of you. Hope you're staying safe, and hopefully next year you get back at it.
Bob Pritchett, Tom Seaver memory. He says, I saw Tom Seaver at Riverfront Stadium when he was a Red. He was fantastic. All the kids wanted to get dirt on their right knee like he did pitching. Kudos to the Mets for the tribute of the dirt knee. Absolutely.
Yep.
Great memory there. And a unique memory, too, as well.
Right.
Which I think is an important one. Along the other Major League Baseball news, one that I am not too happy with, and I feel like it is taking away a bit of the iconic system of baseball as we have it in the United States. It looks to be that minor league baseball could be going away as we know it forever, as a whole here. Major League Baseball has until September 30th, until that contract with minor league baseball runs out. If they do not reach an agreement by September 30th, unfortunately, they will no longer be associated in any way, shape, or form with minor league baseball in a partnership as they are right now. So you will see many teams, if there is no agreement reached, either completely disappear or turn into collegiate wood bat league, summer teams, or independent league teams. So the system of baseball as we have known it for years will quickly change if there's no agreement reached by September 30th. And among the suggested agreements that could go into place, the most interesting one would essentially be that 41 plus of the minor league teams as they exist now will no longer exist in relation to Major League Baseball. All the rookie class and the low class A teams will no longer exist. Select players from those teams will be invited to train year round at the spring training facilities of the major league teams they're representing. But you have to think many of those players will no longer have an opportunity to be associated with a major league team. And you also have to wonder, moving forward, for those who maybe were looking to jump into the minor league system in the next 2 or 3 years, do they just completely not go the baseball route anymore and pick up general professions?
I think they either do that or they go play international. They don't have another choice. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Addison Russell's playing overseas right now because he got his career kind of took a step back. But you're going to see a lot of guys do that, and I think that's where Major League Baseball will tap into that pool and just continue to do so, because minor league baseball is going to. It
is, and we had talked about it with several of the house guests last night about the importance of minor league baseball in our society, and also what it means on a greater scale. And for many of these towns across Iowa, across rural parts of the United States, even up into Appalachia areas where I'm kind of from, these baseball organizations are more than just an organization. They are truly the blood, sweat, and tears of these towns. I mean, you go into areas of West Virginia where they have a minor league baseball team, most of them single A affiliates. But you realize that about 80% of the people in that town work for that minor league system, and they work for it on a very dedicated level that you can go by their houses and they're employees, but they're also major fans. And you take away something like that from these small towns, whether it be in Iowa, West Virginia, South Dakota, wherever it is, these more isolated places in these smaller towns, they essentially cease to exist on a town level without the employment of these minor league teams as well.
However, I think one thing that baseball has continued to show us is that it will persevere.
That's true.
And it's past the test of time. So I think that even though it may be in a different form, these teams will still exist. Mm-hmm. They will be
mostly
brought in
independent or something.
Either independent leagues, summer collegiate bat leagues. You know, a lot of these guys, they're not going to give up. And these players, it's the same thing. They're just going to find another avenue and another platform for those that truly love the game.
And you also have to wonder, with this happening, do you see another league emerge that is essentially a premier league for lower level professional baseball?
You'd almost have to.
Because you see it in Major League Soccer, guys, and I know many of you may not be soccer fans, but soccer is a great model to study on the professional level because the Major League Soccer MLS has, I believe, 3 tiers. Those levels operate like 2 minor league levels and then a top premier level, which is essentially the Major League version. Do you see these organizations begin to craft smaller competitive leagues, not just one major league affiliated with the minor league system? You wonder.
I think so. You'd almost have to, because if anything, it's going to, like the pandemic for businesses and industries, people are going to innovate from this and learn from it and ensure that something like this does not happen again. So this is, I feel like it was made, you could see disaster coming at some point, like something was going to have to come to a head, whether it was the pandemic or the contraction of teams. It's when you have millionaires fighting with billionaires, it's always a problem. So, and you have 2 organizations that are so tightly knit without being fully owned by one another. At some point, that marriage could end.
And you have to wonder, is it for the better? You really,
I think so.
You think in a lot of ways this new model that could very much emerge could potentially push growth of the game. Because as it sits now, baseball in the United States is dying in a way. You're seeing a lot less people continue to play baseball at a younger age.
Yeah.
And so you wonder, do you see a new model emerge, and does that blossom a new urge for players to continue to play into older age?
Begs the question too, will you see new rule changes with the game of baseball to make it more challenging?
And you mentioned one about the Atlantic League.
Yeah.
You talk about a little bit of that. That's interesting.
Last year the Atlantic League had actually moved their pitching rubber back for their pitching mound 2 feet. So they, the Major League Baseball had partnered with the Atlantic League to use them kind of as a laboratory for testing new rule changes and new innovations to see how it affects the game. Right. Keep the game interesting and see if they could incorporate it into Major League rules. So I've also heard talks about computer and fully virtual umpires and not having
more consistency, essentially.
Right. More consistency and things like that. I mean, the balk or intentionally walking a guy, that's changed.
Yep.
The designated hitter has changed. Yes, that's because of COVID, but you're seeing the game continually changing. And why? Exactly what we talked about.
You keep it more interesting. You keep younger viewers interested. And you think back to a simpler time where you could, I mean, even when we were young, you could go to a game, you could get a hot dog, sit there and watch the game, and you weren't necessarily distracted by these giant screens or these constantly changing things around you. But in the reality of where we are today, to keep the game interesting to those who are being born into this era, you have to think something has to change.
Yep.
Because unlike us, where we have that taste of the old, that little taste, these now don't have that. They are seeing it as it is now and continually developing into what I would really consider the video game age in many ways. They're keen to the virtual sense.
Yep, and there's something very traditional about the sport, which is a 2-edged sword. I feel there are kids that are going to take pride in that, and they just grew up playing baseball, playing catch with their dad, so they're going to get involved in the sport. And there are others that need that pizzazz, need that flash in the pan, and that's NBA, that's NFL. I mean, these other leagues are doing that, and that's kind of out of the scope of our show. But I think that MLB is going to need to do that, and they have tried, and some of it's been successful. The Fort Bragg game, the Williamsport games, the Stand Up and Play initiative, the Baseball for All initiative. So they're trying to incorporate minorities and other groups into the game to globalize the sport, and it's happening. I think it's fading out a little. Well, it's fading out a little bit, right, in America, but you're seeing other countries pick up a love for the game. Yep. I mean, Italy, for example.
Yep.
So
as we talked about, yeah.
Yeah. So, and all over the world.
Robert says, Tucker's got a brand new baseballism shirt. What does the logo say? And is there anything on the back of the shirt? Love their baseball shirts. Absolutely. This one just says represent the game.
2013.
2013. And then it says baseballism 2013, I believe, being their founding year.
Yep, that was the year they were founded.
So place a little bit of homage to their history. It is not a newer shirt. However, it is, I believe, one of the newer shirts in the FOD Field of Dreams baseballism store. However, it is available on their website. I will say I love the color of this too. This kind of light red is a very nice color. It's one of my favorites. The back of the shirt, Roman, you can tell me what it says. I actually don't remember. There is a monologue essentially on the back, Robert. Lift up the sling there. Yeah,
yeah, your sling is in the way. You don't need a glove to knock a ball down. You just need a body and some guts.
There you go. So this is the one that plays in a little bit again to some baseball tribute there. But I mean, all the shirts you guys see, Baseballism is a great brand in the sense that they play a lot into the game itself.
And they have a wide variety of apparel.
They just released a brand new Field of Dreams shirt.
I love it.
Which I think has got to be my favorite FOD Baseballism combo shirt that I have seen to date easily. Tucker, tip for down the road: 2 spoons of concrete in the mornings will help your shoulder harden up. Mal. Love it, Mal. Mal, I'm going to take that as a bit of symbolism and also a bit of the Vegemite take a spoonful type thing right there. However, you have survived many, 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 many injuries, as we have talked, and gotten through to continue to play and play and play. As it is right now, I believe you have just gotten out of the hospital with multiple stitches, and I am sure they will not keep you from playing baseball for very long. You will be back on the diamond in no time, knowing you. So I believe there's a little bit of truth down that as well.
Good luck, Mel. Good luck.
Any other thoughts, Roman?
Yeah, we've got some exciting things in September and October. We have Dining on the Diamond at the Field of Dreams. So it's unique. It's formal dining at the Field of Dreams movie site. So if you're interested in a unique experience, you can have a formal meal and be served on the outfield of the Field of Dreams movie site. Catered meal, and we're going to have ambiance. We're going to have wiffle ball. We'll have cornhole. We'll have Iowa cuisine as well for a little taste of the area, and we're very excited about that. So 13 days here throughout September and October. Be on the lookout on social media and our website for more details on that. The dates, there are 7 in September and 6 in October, spanning the weekend, throughout the weekend there. So if you want to learn more, just go to our website or social media.
FODmoviesite.com. And most of our platforms, you can find us at FOD Movie Site or Field of Dreams Movie Site. However, those of you watching, I have a pretty strong feeling that you are loyal followers of all of those platforms, which we greatly, greatly appreciate.
We're preaching to the choir.
We are. But I will say the, Dining the Diamond is going to be something very, very, very cool that has originated in the heart of baseball.
Yep.
So to see that a little bit is going to be awesome. Any history you want to share on that a little bit?
Yeah, Pawtucket Red Sox. Thank you for that. So for those of you that don't know, the Pawtucket Red Sox out of Pawtucket, Massachusetts, the AAA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox, proudly reached out to us within the past month, and they have done some really innovative things. Charles Steinberg, who has worked and is embedded in the Boston Red Sox organization and their franchise, and is a mentor to Theo Epstein and so many other influential general managers throughout the league and executives throughout Major League Baseball today, and has helped form what we know of the sport now. Owns that team, and they have created some innovative things due to COVID. Obviously, with no season and their last season in McCoy Stadium, they decided to create a unique opportunity for fans to say goodbye to the stadium. So they created this Dining on the Diamond concept. And it's pretty interesting, I think, and it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it will.
We try unique events all the time and host things that I never thought were possible at the Field of Dreams, like Paint Out Night last year. We had 40 painters from across the country spanning 13 different states at the Field of Dreams. We bought one of those paintings from a Wisconsin painter and is actually now in the second floor of the house. By the way, you can stay there. And there are special discounts still, 50% off during the weekends and 25% off during the week, Sunday through Thursday. You can check those out. They are available all month here, but also we have extended that out to the end of the year. So through December 31st, you can go ahead and stay for a discounted rate if you're looking for something unique for the holidays or just want to get away. Yeah, it's snowy here in Iowa, but it's pretty cool to be at the Field of Dreams.
It is something amazing.
Doesn't matter if there's snow on the ground or not. It's still a special place to be. And you can relive that scene where Kevin Costner's looking out that window wondering where Shoeless Joe is in the snow.
It's a good question there from Mal. When will the corn come out this year, Rowan?
Usually it's early November, so I would expect that to be the case this year. So
look for that, guys. We'll keep you updated on the social media platforms with the corn as well.
Starting to brown out.
It is starting to brown out. You can see the season's changing. For us, that is a welcome change. It has been very hot here recently. So to have a little bit of cool weather is welcomed. However, we know that means snow is not far to follow.
Yeah. That's we're not supposed to swear on the podcast,
but
this is a
that's it.
show.
Yep. That's it. Any other thoughts? Final thoughts, Rowan?
Guys, it's just humbling to have this platform and to have you guys, the loyal followers of the show. So thanks for tuning in as always, and we'll continue to provide you content because we love doing it. We like working together and forming this team to continue to give you content. So
that's it. Mal, thank you for the Australian goodies. We appreciate that greatly, and it added a little bit of flair to our week, which we very much enjoyed. So thank you again for that. And thank you to all those who joined, commented, Robert, Frank, Mal, Bob, all the regulars, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in again. We cannot wait to have you guys back out at the field as soon as you can, and to sit down with you and chat more about your lifelong love for the game and the Field of Dreams. Until then, guys, have a fantastic long Labor Day weekend. Enjoy it,
the day.
And enjoy it. Sit back, relax, have some time with friends and family. Mal, enjoy your weekend as it has already started, and a beautiful Saturday morning as we've known now in Australia. But the rest of you guys, enjoy this weekend, enjoy each other, and we will see you guys soon in baseball heaven.
And we've got some cool content coming up this weekend, too.
We do.
Some coverage from the First Responders Appreciation Day. So be on the lookout. On Mondays, something special, too. So just keep on the lookout on our social media. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.